Have you ever looked up at the night sky and just wondered, out of all that blackness, all those stars, why here? In the vast, silent universe, there's this tiny, shimmering dot that's unlike anything else we've ever found. And yeah, that's our home, planet Earth. So what is it? What makes this one planet so special? Well, today, let's uncover the incredible story of why Earth is so uniquely, perfectly suited for life. I mean, just look at that. This incredible view was captured by a satellite from the Indian Space Research Organization. Now, this is a false color image, which means scientists have tweaked the colors to highlight specific things. Like how healthy the forests are on land, or where the microscopic life is booming in the oceans. It's just beautiful, right? But it also brings up that huge question that we've been asking ourselves for centuries.
Exactly. Why here? We know there are billions, maybe trillions of other planets out there. So what makes this one the perfect cradle for life? In this explainer, we're going to peel back the layers and discover all the special ingredients and the really delicate balances that make Earth a living, breathing world.
Okay, so our journey to figure this all out, it doesn't start way out in the distant stars. Nope. It begins right here, with the very ground beneath our feet. And believe it or not, it holds a pretty surprising secret about just how fragile all of this really is.
This is such a great way to think about it. Imagine the entire Earth is an apple, okay? Well then, all of life, and I mean everything, every mountain, every ocean, every person, every animal, every single living thing, it all exists on a layer that's no thicker than that apple's skin. That's it. This incredibly delicate, life-supporting crust is what it all comes down to. Kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it? So we're all living on this fragile skin. But what makes this skin a place where life can even happen? Well, to answer that, we need to zoom out a bit and look at where we are in the solar system. And that's where we find the very first key part of what you might call the Goldilocks recipe.
Let's just take a quick look at our planetary neighbors, okay? Over on Venus, it's a Syrian 450 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to melt lead, and it's all thanks to its super thick, runaway greenhouse atmosphere. Then you look at Mars, it's the other extreme, a frigid, bone-chilling -65, because its atmosphere is just too thin to hold on to any warmth. And then there's us, Earth, a comfortable average of about 15 degrees. It's pretty clear that when it comes to life, location is absolutely everything.
And this perfect location actually has a name. It's called the habitable zone, or you might know it by its more famous name, the Goldilocks zone, right? It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right. Just right for the most important ingredient for life as we know it, liquid water. Without liquid water, the complex chemistry that life needs to get started just couldn't happen. Simple as that. And this picture illustrates our sweet spot perfectly. You see that red zone? That's way too close to the sun. Any water there would just boil away into space. The blue zone? Too far. Any water would be locked up as ice pretty much forever. But look where we are. Earth orbits right in that beautiful green band where water can flow freely, carving rivers, filling up oceans, and fueling all of life.
But it's not just about the distance. The size of our planet is also a huge part of this Goldilocks recipe. See, if Earth were much smaller, like Mars, its gravity would be too weak to hold on to our precious atmosphere. It would have just drifted off into space, leaving us totally exposed and airless. Our size is what lets us keep this protective blanket wrapped around us.
So we've got the right location, and we've got the right size. That's a great start. Now let's zoom in and see how those factors create the actual systems that actively support and sustain life every single day.
Life on Earth is really a team effort between three huge systems. First, you've got the atmosphere. That's the air we breathe, of course, but it's also our shield against all that harmful radiation from the sun. Then there's the hydrosphere. That's all the water on the planet, which is where the chemistry of life happens. And finally, the geosphere, the solid Earth itself, which gives us the raw materials, the nutrients, and the very foundation for life to grab a foothold.
And all of this creates something called geodiversity. This incredible variety of landforms, from massive mountains and winding rivers to coastlines and huge plains. It's way more than just pretty scenery. It actively creates countless little unique pockets and habitats, which allows for this astonishing diversity of life to evolve and thrive in basically every corner of our planet.
And this, right here, is probably the most important takeaway. It's not any one single thing that makes Earth special. It's the incredible interconnected balance of all these systems working together. If you change something in the atmosphere, it affects the water, and that in turn affects the soil, which then impacts all the living things that depend on them. It's like a vast planetary teamwork project.
Okay, so this delicate balance lets life exist, but what allows it to continue, to keep going through millions and millions of years of change? For that, we need to look at the remarkable engine that drives it all forward: reproduction. So life basically uses two main strategies to keep the show on the road. On one hand, you have asexual reproduction. That just involves one parent, and it's fantastic for making stable, exact copies. Perfect if your environment isn't really changing. But then you have sexual reproduction. With two parents, you're essentially shuffling the genetic deck with every single generation, and this creates variation, which is the raw material for evolution. It's absolutely crucial for adapting to a world that is always changing.
Now, this whole process of sexual reproduction relies on these little guys, highly specialized cells called gametes. In animals like us, you have the male sperm cell and the female egg cell. The best way to think of them is like tiny packages, and each one is carrying exactly half of the genetic instructions needed to build a brand new, unique individual. And here's how it all comes together. The sperm cell and the egg cell, each with their half set of instructions, they meet up and combine in a process called fertilization. And in that incredible moment, they create the very first cell of a new organism. That cell is called a zygote, and it now has a complete and totally unique genetic blueprint, a perfect blend of both its parents.
So, let's recap. We have a perfectly placed planet with all these amazing interconnected support systems and a mechanism for life to adapt and continue. But this entire beautiful, complex system is now facing a challenge like never before.
The crucial point we have to face is that this delicate balance is being disturbed, and it's being disturbed by our own actions. We are now in what scientists call the triple planetary crisis. It's the interconnected and escalating threats of climate change, the loss of biodiversity, and widespread pollution. You see, air pollution from burning fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases. And these gases act like a thickening blanket around our planet, trapping extra heat and driving global warming. This messes with weather patterns. It causes more extreme storms and droughts. It melts ancient ice caps. It's fundamentally changing the very climate that life has spent millennia adapting to.
And at the very same time, our water and our soil are being contaminated. Industrial waste, single-use plastics, chemicals from farming, it all pollutes our rivers and oceans, harming aquatic life and then working its way right up the food chain. Ultimately, this pollution threatens the health of entire ecosystems, including our own.
Which brings us to our final and maybe our most important slide of all. After everything we've seen, the cosmic lottery we won with our perfect location, the intricate systems that support us, the incredible engine of life itself, we are left with this one question. This is the only home we have, the only one we know of that is teeming with life in a vast and silent universe. So, what role will we play in protecting its future?